It's
okay. Yeah.
taking. Yes. All right. Now we can start. Yes.
Yeah. So this is more issue with my team. So I have accepted a player, but the player hasn't responded after that. So I don't have the shareholders agreement signed yet. So I'm like blocked to play the game because that part is not done yet. So instead, I would like to, I've informed the team member that since I'm not getting any response, I would like to continue solo. So I don't see that I am able to remove the team player myself. So how should I go about in that case?
Well,
Yeah, I already discussed this yesterday evening, because first of all, of course, we want we don't really want everyone to play solo, so we don't want that. Of course, we do understand your predicament. So yeah, we need to figure out. So either why is she not responding? Is she not aware what she needs to do? And
maybe write the nickname of that player here, or tell it to me so I can take a look at least.
Yeah, sure.
If
I can
she
do that.
wants into the platform. Yeah.
Because she came on the chat, we did a couple of chats, and yeah, now I don't get any response. So I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that then.
All right.
And the other thing is that I tried reporting a couple of bugs, but I got this pop-up telling that there's some error in the Discord, and I couldn't take a screenshot of it. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
I've already reported that, so the
Okay.
guys are gonna try to fix it.
Okay, because I'm not sure if I'm if the bugs that I've reported has reached them, because how do I check that? Otherwise, I'll have to do it again in that case.
No, they are reaching us. I think I read that one.
Okay.
But of course, the developers have they're doing stuff as it appears, choosing the most important ones, and if it's
Mhm.
something that they can quickly fix, they do that. But
Okay.
they're aware of that. Yeah, it happens, of course, all the time when they fix something and then they've deployed it, and then something else
other thing
goes.
breaks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's common in development. Yeah.
yeah, you need a lot of duct tape at the beta testing stage to make sure that stuff stays together.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure if I wanted to check if my bugs were being reported or it's just getting lost because there's some error message on Discord. So yeah.
No,
Yeah.
bugs are not getting lost. We get a lot of them.
Okay. Yeah. That's good to know.
It's very buggy. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So those were the questions that I had.
All right. Well, then, if you don't have anything else you want to ask, maybe take this opportunity to get some help.
So yeah, from the updates that you had given, I tried like being more active in commenting on Facebook posts to get to see if people come to my page. And in fact, I've got like 2 likes who are like totally not related to any of my friends or family. Like none of the connections on my Facebook have liked. It's quite a good progress for like one day.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's showing up.
Yeah. See, it's working. It's like I said, it's not gonna work in one day. It takes time, and it's always more complicated in the beginning. Because after you reach a certain mass, then it gets easier. But of course, the beginning is tough because you have no idea what you're doing, right? You're testing all the things, and sometimes something that you think is a safe bet doesn't work for some reason, and something else that you didn't think would work works, and you're like, okay, how do I replicate that? This is the second most complicated question: how to replicate the success. Is it just a one-time fluke, or is it something that I can repeat and scale? Yeah.
And one quick tip about Facebook that I've learned, like at least so far, like from 2 weeks of work, is that people love humor on Facebook. So that's what they expect when they come to Facebook. That's
people love humor everywhere, and even the pretentious LinkedIn, where people are like, "Nah, we can only talk about work here." Yeah, when you check the engagement on the posts that actually talking about work or something smart, no one's reading them. But when it's some stupid humor, the engagement is through the roof. So what people say and what people do are 2 different things. And you have to, of course, look at what's more important is what they actually do, because surprise, surprise, people lie, right? They will tell you that, hey, we're only interested in that and that, but then the data doesn't lie. The data tells you a different story. So yeah, make sure that you analyze that, and not so much the opinions of people. It would be, of course, ideal situation if they both coincide, but in case they don't, trust data more than what people say.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
so that was a quick session.
Then send us the
Username, yeah.
Username in case we don't find it her ourselves, and then we'll make sure that our developers do something about your colleague that went haywire. But it's still an interesting predicament, right? Because now you are in the game, and we can ask someone to we can kick her out for you, right? Basically, but in real life, how do you do that? In real life, this is where it becomes complicated, right? You are with someone in the team, and especially if it's already like a registered company, so you can't just pretend they didn't exist, right? So
if I've not signed any agreement, I think shouldn't it be easier in that case?
For now, of course, probably you will not stay friends in real life. Like if this was a real life situation, you will probably go your separate ways after that, because that's what happens. But that's the idea of making sure that you sign something that's gonna make it easier for you to do things later on in life. But of course, for the later stage when we actually launch, I think it would be nice to have. I'm not sure it should be an automated button. Maybe we will still do it that you have to go through legal counseling.
Okay.
And if you are in a situation like this where the other user has been unresponsive for like X amount of days, then I think it's okay if we remove her. But if she doesn't want to discuss, then and she's out. She comes back and all her things are outside of the office, and the key has been changed. Yeah. Hey, Oriana. Don't know if.
Well, either she sits very still, or something froze there.
Now we have two of her. Yes, two is better than one.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. What's going on?
You have a twin.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We
can hear one of you.
Hi. Yeah. Sorry. I think I have like 3 Gmails. Anyway, but I was just wanted to pop in quickly and say we removed one person from our team who wasn't responding.
Hey, Sarangi is here with the same problem.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, it was the founder who made that call, just because you have to move forward. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. That's why it's so great that we're doing this pilot with these situations arising that, of course, we didn't think were important at this stage. Like later on, of course, you would want to put every single option, but now, of course, we see that there's some people that come in and say, hey, yes, and then like 2 days later, they're like, It's like that humorous piece that I put on Instagram. What? It takes work to run a startup? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Of course, these people should be easily removed from the team. But Oriana, if you have any questions, anything related to whatever in startups, feel free, because I think Sarangi is done with her questions for now.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I just saw the Meet link and I thought I'd pop on because I've been having some. Well, actually, I'm gonna double check now if it's not working again. But I was having some trouble signing the employment agreement. Just because of, I think it's a technical difficulty. We did send a message to Big Sister.
Yep.
So I'm not sure. I haven't communicated with the founder yet about it.
I know that there's a couple of complaints regarding that with Big Sister, and well, this is how Big Sister looks like in practice.
The beard.
Hey, don't be a bigot.
No, we are inclusive. Big Sister with a beard works just fine.
Exactly. So
your sister. Okay.
yeah. Well, 90% of the time that's me. Yeah. So, but I discussed it with the development team, and I know they're working on it. I thought they already fixed some stuff.
They probably haven't deployed some stuff, so we asked them not to deploy new things every 5 minutes because that, of course, annoys the users. So they're doing certain things and then they're deploying like once or twice a day. So maybe that's already in that batch, but yeah, we'll double check.
Okay. Well, I think I should give this another quick look before I take up more of your time. But so I'm just gonna mute and put myself off video, and then I don't know how long is this meeting lasting.
Well,
until everyone is satisfied. So,
huh?
Yeah, today it's only 2 people here, so I guess once you guys are out of questions, then we can call it a day.
I thought you were
depends. Unless Colin comes up with something else meanwhile.
No. Okay, just one quick second.
Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, no one suspected that you are the Big Sister. Well, surprise.
I was surprised, yes. I was expecting you, Violetta. Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Violetta or Violet? Okay.
Yeah.
Violetta is busy with a lot of other stuff.
We had to share responsibilities. I'm the one who does 90% of homework and quest revisions. So that's already, of course, a lot. So I decided to give all the bugs and the Big Sister requests to someone else. And try not to meddle with it. It's hard because when they're not responding quickly, I want to punch them, but I'm like, okay, I'm delegating, I'm learning to delegate.
Yeah.
So I did a quick scan, and it appears that there's no more employment agreement or NDA option.
So it means that it's been fixed. There was a bit of a bug when some teams were told to sign employment even though they didn't have employees. So let's confirm. So all the people in your team now, they're all the same ones that signed the shareholders agreement. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good one.
Yes. So you will only have other agreements appear when there is a necessity. So once you have a mentor on the team, then the NDA will appear, and you will have to sign that with a mentor. Once you have an investor, then the option for a convertible loan agreement will appear, and you will have to do that. An employment agreement will only pop up, hopefully in theory, when you employ someone who is not a shareholder. But there was something went wrong when, of course, the platform wanted both, which is, of course, a technical thing. So yeah, it means they did fix it, hopefully permanently. As we discussed, as soon as you fix one bug, there's something else pops up because of that. So that's, of course, part of the beta testing.
Yeah, honestly, the platform is great. I mean, I've run into that many problems. It's mostly just these little things where, just because when there's like legal jargon mixed in the fold, you tend to kind of like go, and then.
That would be me as well.
Well,
yeah,
like the whole legal profession.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you have any questions regarding anything legal or intellectual property, you can ask him either here or in WhatsApp.
One-on-one. Yeah.
Or even book a one-on-one, depending on how big the question is. Because I think that's also, that's one of the biggest perks of the platform where you have a lawyer that you can ask anything, and he's not going to be the lawyer that will give you the the expensive answer like hey, go patent stuff, yeah, like a lot of them do. But you're like, I don't have any money and I don't really have anything to patent. Like software is almost impossible to patent in Europe. Why are you telling me this? Well, because yeah, that's what I learned at school. So he's a lawyer with a startup experience, which means that he had to learn how to do legal stuff on the cheap side. And I think in one of the sessions, maybe we should talk a bit about intellectual property to discuss those things. Touch upon the trade secret part, which is what every startup should start with, because yeah, you don't have any money to for patents, and it's not time to even do that, or even the trademarks or the copyright registrations, all of these things. Like you need to understand how and what to do. So I think one of the sessions will devote to that, maybe.
That would be very helpful.
That, especially the nuances with like what's on the British kind of. If there's like, I learned copyright a bit in college, and it felt like there was a different. Like I couldn't figure out if it was just an American system, and copyright kind of follows. Yeah, basically, like based on which country you're patenting or you're trying to copyright your image or anything, what the legal framework is depending on the country.
Yeah, that's he can tell you a few things about how it is on paper, but then real life comes into play, and like, okay, copyright is automatic, and then what? So someone stole your image or whatever. Okay, what you gonna do? First of all, you have to, if you want to sue them, you have to find who it is that you're suing. You have to get a lawyer, or attorney at law, whatever. And as you might imagine, they're not cheap. They're not going to do this for free. You need to collect evidence. So there's a huge burden that is totally on you to prove, that it was actually yours. Because, if copyright is automatic, it doesn't mean that it's easy to prove. So this is like theory, right? In theory, you have all the rights, everything's, everyone's on your side. But in practice, are you really gonna put all that effort and money? It depends. You might not want to do this. So of course, it's a lot better to concentrate on these preventive measures. Like, what can I do now that's not gonna cost me anything or not gonna cost me a lot, but might actually help me save a lot of money, a lot of hassle in the future, right? So from that point of view, even though copyright is automatic, if you don't register it, well, basically it's useless. And to register copyright is, our other startup, the legal tech startup, we're actually dealing with that there. We're dealing with registration of copyright. So we kind of know all these things here and there. It's not expensive, right, to register it, and it's a preventive measure. You might not need it, but it gives you peace of mind. And also, what it allows you to do is to basically avoid courts, but to go through the takedown notice procedure. When you notice that something is on, like, I don't know, someone minted an NFT on OpenSea using your image, and then OpenSea asks you to actually prove that. Once again, how do you prove that? Well, you have to send them something that shows that you are the original author, the creator, timestamps, all that kind of stuff. And that, of course, if you don't have it, a bit of a hassle to, like, how can you prove something happened in the past or not if you don't have any evidence left anymore. So these are the things. So this is like, there's this theoretical IP and legal stuff that's good for corporates that have a lot of money, and then there is the practical hacks that startups have to deal with because, hey, we're small, we're poor, we don't have time for that, and all those things. So I thought we could do a session on that a bit, like how to get away with your startup without hiring a lawyer, but at the same time, like, do everything is possible for you to have the safety net in case something goes wrong. And also it's important for when and if you are going to go to investors. Of course, they will want to know how you took care of your IP. And if you tell them, hey, I've kept all of my trade secrets properly because I did that and that and that. I've also preventively registered the copyright just in case. I think, of course, they will be more impressed with you, with your practices, because they understand that you understand these things. So, hi, Daisy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A bit. I was thinking yesterday I couldn't come for that. It is going to be on the game, so I can see it.
Which one? The one with Liz?
For the website creation. And then what did we have?
No, yesterday we didn't have the website create. You mean the one that was done by Tilda?
Sorry, by Liz. No,
Liz,
sorry.
yes, that one is already there. It's all in the schedule. It's all in that Notion file and schedule. Once the session is done, then in a few hours we try to put the link there. If you see a view event there, then you click on it. It means you can already see, but it's already there as well. Yeah.
Okay. I just came in and saw the meeting, so I said I'll just join. Came in to see those recordings, but saw this.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And yeah, if you also saw there are 3 one-on-one sessions with Liz that are available through the marketplace. If someone wants to grab them, unless they've already been grabbed, because you can only do 3 of them. So that is also interesting for those who need help from her. I'm going to check out. Well, so far they're available. I don't know how many, but they're available. And they're cheap. They're only 15 tokens, so it's almost free. Yeah, she wanted to be nice to people. Yeah.
Well, that's giving it away, yeah?
I know, yeah.
No. I wanted to say one thing to Oriana, because she was talking about being in... you're in the US, or well, at least you're in a common law system.
So I'm in France, but
France.
I tend to go between the US and France just because I studied in the US. So when I was learning about copyright, I was like, yeah, but what about, different countries?
Yeah, so there's a difference between the common law system and the civil law system. So France, they do the civil law system. The US, UK, they do the common law system. When we will do a meeting about IP, I will try to dive into that a little bit, but I'm educated in the civil law system. So I did do one course in American law, so I know some of common law, but not so much in practicality about IP law in the US. There are, of course, some things that are totally the same, but some things might change. So I will look if there's difference that are very important to know off the bat. But yeah, so I will do something about that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think just not to forget, DJ, yeah, maybe we should do an elaborate description of trade secrets. And maybe if Timo could join, then he could also explain that from the IT perspective. Yeah, because one of the rules of making sure that you keep your intellectual property as a trade secret, of course, you have to have specific IT systems in place, which means that you cannot allow access to those sensitive files without passwords and things like that, right? So it all boils down to making sure that the system that you use together with your colleagues or employees, whatever, is safe and secure, and no one can just come in and take everything, because then you're not properly keeping your trade secrets, and then the court is going to say, well, it's your own fault. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. So
yeah, that's the thing about trade secrets. Hey? You have to keep them under wraps. You can show them to someone else, but then you need some legal agreement surrounding that, which would be an NDA, which is not valid everywhere. So if you have an NDA with someone from China, well, in China, they don't do the NDA, they do the NNN. So you need to know these things. But basically, it is keeping everything secret. And that's the way you keep trade secrets yours. And the moment you let something out, it's in the open and it's not yours anymore.
How is it in Malta? Because I'm in Malta, so I think you know.
Yeah, you have a bit of a mixed system. I know. But yeah, Malta still works with the NDA. So in that sense, basically the same. You need to keep everything secret unless there's an NDA or if you're going to China and NNN. So that's the pure basics. We will go into that further on a later stage. But yeah, the thing to need to know now is keep your trade secrets secret, keep them stored away, lock and key. That's so important because the minute it gets out there, the minute it gets out in the open, it's not only not a trade secret anymore to that person, it's a trade secret to no one anymore because it's out in the open. So trade secret is only a trade secret if it's not out in the open. So if 10 other people without having signed an NDA already know this, it is considered to be out in the open, it's gone.
Okay.
Because they can tell everyone, so yeah.
Which of course means that later, if and when you decide to patent stuff, you might run into problems just because you didn't do these necessary steps in the very beginning, because no one taught you how to do them. So it's like, I wish I knew the situation. I think what I was saying to Sarangi when we were having the one-on-one, I was trying to give her all those little tips and tools that I wish someone gave me in the incubator when I was there. But for some reason, the incubators, once again, they tell you the basic high-level overview, and they don't explain these little hacks that can save you a lot of money or can help you invalidate the idea a lot quicker. And then startups would not be in a situation when 2 years down the road, they're like, oh, fuck, the idea is not working because I didn't do that and that and that. And, doing those things, they do not cost you anything other than time. So yeah, that's the whole point of the game. That's how it got created, because we learned by ourselves, so many things that were never told to us, they were never taught to us. It's impossible to find them all together anywhere. You learn one little thing by talking to people who are like half a year or a year ahead of you. And then we decided to put it all together into this system of, if you are bootstrapped, if you don't have any money, if you don't have any technical skills, if you don't have co-founders, how do you get started? So the mean and lean approach to figuring out the very, very first steps in startup life. Because books are nice, books are fine. You have to read them, but they won't tell you these little practical things like, hey, what tool do I use for that? Or as Karen was talking yesterday, and I remember that they're doing a nonprofit. So I immediately told her, hey, come talk to me, because I have we are running a Female Switch as part nonprofit. So we discovered once again by ourselves what kind of software you can get for free if you're a nonprofit. And that is, of course, once again, something that you can't find anywhere, because you have to, pick one by one. And this saves you a lot of money, because even one piece of software that's typically a grand a year, and if you need 5 pieces, that's $5,000 a year that you can save just because you know how to approach these things. So if anyone ever comes up with this kind of very practical questions, do ask. If we know the answer, we will be happy to help you with them.
Yeah, one little thing about patenting, I think, because you get the standard advice, and legally it's all pretty much correct. However, you need to look at it like a chess game. You need to think a couple of moves ahead, because it's all fine and dandy if you give your money to patent something, but how are you going to protect yourself if someone goes against that patent? Are you really going to sue? I mean, see how much money Apple and Samsung are spending on suing each other. Do you really have that kind of money when you're a small startup? You really need to think about these things. If I have that, what can I do with it, and what can I do with it in practice? Because you might be right, but being right doesn't always mean anything.
Yeah, Daisy, you want to ask a question?
Yes. I was thinking about forming the teams. So we formed the team, a founder and a co-founder, and we're doing the contract for the shareholders. So now we were thinking of adding more members, right? I couldn't remember which session was that you mentioned each team should have these particular skills, IT, marketing. Can you list them out again? So maybe if I'm lacking one, and we look for someone with that skill. Is that how we should work, let's say?
Yeah, in the ideal world, you have your co-founders that all have complementary skills. And if you were at the session of Sandro, when he was talking about this from the investor perspective, of course, they all want that. Like everyone wants when you go.
Yes, I was thinking I heard it somewhere, this list, yeah. But I couldn't remember which meeting. That's the problem.
Yes, so of course, ideally, if you have two people in the team, one should be an extrovert, the other one an introvert, right? In other words, one has to love talking to people, while the other one enjoys, doing all the other things like writing, I don't know, maybe some technical stuff. But definitely, one of you has to be willing to either learn or be comfortable with speaking. So pitching is one of the most essential activities that your startup will have to do. So one of you will have to talk a lot. And with us, it has to be me. It had to be me from the very beginning as well. I was very uncomfortable doing this in the beginning. I think I mentioned already that I learned my pitches by heart, not to make a mistake. And that kind of made me waste a lot of time because I had to practice a lot before every pitch. And then eventually, each time you're on stage, you feel more and more comfortable until one moment when you don't prepare for the session at all because you already know everything that you're going to say. So this is the journey that at least one of you in the team has to go through. You don't have to be, of course, already an expert in the beginning, but you have to be willing to learn these things, to be willing to practice these things. And that's why I think after a talk yesterday, we decided to put a few pitching training sessions into the schedule. So if you look at the schedule, you will see them. So for those who actually want to come and, just try to pitch, just to see how they feel in a small group, because unfortunately it's only practice that you can use to train yourself how to do this. You can read about this in theory many times. You can pitch in front of a mirror with no people in the room. That's all useless because it's the moment that you see other people looking at you. That's when you freak out on the inside, and everything that you prepared, you forget. And that, of course, will allow you also to practice not only how you talk, but also what you do with your hands. And for that, you can you can record yourself. That is something of an exercise that you can do by yourself. You prepare the pitch and you just record yourself, and then you analyze and you see what the hell you're doing with your hands. Probably the first couple of times you will be like, why am I moving them all the time? Why am I doing this? What's wrong with me, right? And then at some point, when you get more comfortable, you will be able to control both the mouth and the hands, right? Because that means you have to multitask. So people who say don't multitask, I'm like, yeah, sure, you've never been on stage, because you have to. You have to remember the words. You have to remember what you're doing with your hands. You have to understand that people are looking from you from the stage. You have to know that there's a screen behind you and some people might not see it because you are standing right there. So you have to keep in mind at least like 5 to 10 things at the same time. And if on top of that, you are freaking out, which means that your brain is taking away a lot of cognitive function towards, pretending that it's not freaking out, because you have to look calm, and on the inside you're like, then you will not be able to control all the other things you need to control. So for that, you need to practice until you're so fed up with pitching that you'll become comfortable with it. So one person has to be willing to go through that. While it's ideal if all people can do this, but at least one has to do this. And Oriana, just a sec, I will also mention another thing that I wanted about the skills per se, right? So of course, ideally, once again, investors and everyone wants to see that at least one person is a technical person and the other one is a business person. So that's the bare minimum, because there are two important things in building anything. Is of course building a product, but what's even more important is selling that product. If you build the best product in the world, but no one knows about you, well, you failed. So the business part, the marketing, the audience creation, the community creation, that part is also very important. And as you might assume, it also takes an extroverted person to enjoy that. So once again, the techie can be an introverted. All right. The techie has to be can be introverted, because they usually are, but the one that's doing the marketing, the talking, it's better if they're extroverted. Otherwise, they will burn out, because if you continue pushing yourself to do things that you hate, you will not enjoy that, and you will eventually break down, and that's how teams fall apart. So at least these two things, and that's why, as you might have noticed, we do these tests that are quite dual, the changer or runner, and the ones and the twos. That's basically for you to quickly figure out which kind you are. If you are the one that is full of idea generations and you want to talk to people, you're ready to be on stage, you have it's easy for you to have your followers join your community and follow you. Or you are more of a two, where you concentrate on tasks, where you do feature by feature, or you write article by article. You need both people in the team, because it's the changer that starts the process, gets the ball rolling, and then it's the runner that has to continue making sure that that ball is actually going in the right direction. So it's this duality that at least that would be ideal to have in a team. But for the purpose of first of all the game, and second of all, this is your first experience for many of you, it's fine if you don't have that in the team. But it's essential that you start paying attention to those things, and you start realizing, okay, we're missing that in the team. So maybe next time I form a team, I will make sure that I concentrate on that. So you're basically learning by failing, and each time you fail in different place, that's actually progress, because you will not make the same mistake next time, hopefully.
And we have Skill Lab to get some extra skills as well. Huh?
Yeah. I was thinking more like in the beginning, you have to set up the team, right? So, for example, if we are a bit technical and a bit business, but we're okay speaking, presenting, do we need, for example, a really technical person, just an IT person, or if we don't have much experience of marketing, do we need a marketing person to be a better team? I mean,
of course, if you have an expert in both on the team, that's ideal. But the way that we build this platform is that the only thing that you need is willingness to learn. Because in Skill Lab, we've created every single possible step-by-step guide for anyone who has zero skills in something, that they can learn that. And I personally have done most of this. I've done the learning about most of these tools myself from scratch. So, for example, I had to learn how to use MailChimp, the platform that you use for sending newsletters and emails, in 2 days from scratch. Yes, probably the first emails I sent out had some typos and they didn't look pretty, but I did learn it, right? So it's possible without any previous knowledge. The same with Tilda, the website builder. Once again, it takes a couple of days of deep learning and following the channels to be able to have your first version of the landing site. Yes, it will not look pretty because maybe you're not a designer. Yes, it will, you will use templates there, but it's going to be out there and it's going to start serving its purpose, which is for you to start testing things. So forget perfection at the beginning. Take people who are eager to learn. That's, I think, the best piece of advice that I can give. If someone doesn't know something, but they say, how can I learn? take them.
And also this platform, it was built with Bubble, so this is not a very technical platform in that sense. It doesn't need people to know everything about, we don't need full stack developers. So that's something you can teach yourself. And also you might get more perfection, but perfection doesn't really make a product. And one of the best examples of this would be the VCRs back then, at the time when we had VCRs. The best one sold the least. And why? Because the company that was doing it, a Dutch company, Philips, they were not that good in selling. And Sony and JVC, that had the other systems, they really were. So basically, you can, if you are very good at selling, you can get away with having a lesser product.
Sure. And today, by the way, we're going to have the live build with Bubble.
Yeah, at 4.
Yes, at 4. Of course, it's going to be recorded in case people cannot come, but ideally, if those that can come, it's okay, advisable to already have your account set up there. It's a free account, so you don't lose time. And ideally, as it's written in the description there, you would need 2 screens. So if you could have your phone and your laptop, because you need to look at the screen to see what Theo is going to be telling you to do, and you need to be doing it at the same time at your screen. So don't worry if it doesn't work the first time during the recording, during the session itself. Just repeat it after it's done, when you are all alone without Theo hurrying up, and just pause and do it. I can guarantee you you will have your first web application built within a couple of hours, and the feeling of you having done something without any practical knowledge of that tool before, that's something that will stay with you. And if you love that feeling, I think that will give you more motivation to continue doing these things. You will realize that you don't have to be spending months on courses before you can actually do something. Here, from scratch, without knowing anything, yes, you will fail a couple of times. Yes, something will go wrong at the beginning. That's normal. But eventually, if you follow the lead of Theo, you will have something built. And that's the joy of creating your first prototype, your first MVP. Yes, it's ugly. Yes, it looks the colors are yucky and the design is yucky, but it works. So that it works. You will perfect it later. You will make it look pretty later. It doesn't matter, as long as it does what it's supposed to do. I think Oriana wanted to ask something, and we kind of continued blabbering.
I think I had like 60 more questions that came in after, and I don't know which ones to pick. So,
can I ask something?
Yeah, go.
You think? Okay. I think you were mentioning that one person, you need to be able to do some selling, right? You just were saying before, just a few minutes ago, that you need to be good at selling. So what if you have experience of selling, like face-to-face, customer-faced, front desks, all those, but you're not very experienced in marketing it, like on whatever site it is, or Instagram or Facebook or whatever?
Well, we have the skill lab for that, so that can point you in the right direction. And then it's also doing and checking if what you're doing is helping you get the audience you want, and adjust to that, because you need to fail a couple of times to see what's working for you and what's not working for you.
Yeah, so you create, for example, you create a landing page. In that landing page, in that one-page website, you write something about the problem that you're trying to tackle. You test who your target audience is, and then you write them, hey, we can solve your problem with that and that and that. Would you like to try it out? And then you have your call to action, which is either, for example, in the very beginning, hey, sign up for our newsletter, or hey, sign up for the waiting list. And this is the easy part. The hard part is for you to wait what's going to happen and then change according to the data that you receive. So in Tilda, for example, they have, of course, statistics already built, so you don't even need to set up Google Analytics at that point. Later on, you can do so. The basics of analytics you already have on your in your account on Tilda, that will tell you how many people come to your website, what's the conversion rate, which means how many people out of that people that come to your website actually click on your button. And then if it's been a month and people are coming in onto your website, but no one is signing up, there's something wrong with your call to action. There's something that you are not doing right. So you have to test it, you have to change it, and you have to test again. And then until eventually you start getting people to sign up. So this is your first victory. Then the next step will be how to get more people to sign up, all of this. So it's like one step at a time. You cannot be an expert in digital marketing because, first of all, every platform is different. Second of all, things change so quickly that even if you took a course 2 years ago, it's all obsolete now because algorithms change. Like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, they change their algorithms so often, Google as well, right? So you have to, once again, be able to learn. And that's why in Skill Lab, we have the latest material out there that's available. So you go through it and you continue learning as you go. Usually I advise to everyone to find influencers or YouTubers or whatever, video bloggers who are experts in that very thing you're interested in. So for example, if you, like I advise to Sarangi, if she's interested in Facebook and how to create community there, she needs to follow the people who know everything about Facebook algorithms and follow them, because they will be the ones who will publish the updates and the tricks and the hacks and everything that she can test. So it's very important to do this. And also follow the company itself. So if you're using, for example, Tilda to create a landing page, make sure that you follow them on YouTube or whatever, because they will be the ones who will also introduce new features. And those features are usually based on the fact that something is changing with either Google or something else, and they're updating it. So you will always be one of the first to know what's changing, and you can immediately start testing and trying. So yeah, follow experts, but don't feel bad about yourself that you're not an expert in something, because as long as you're willing to learn from experts and you're integrating that and you're testing and you're changing and you're validating and you're moving, you're analyzing, then you are doing a great job already.
I mean, that is why this game or the setup for Switch is good, because as you're saying, I mean, hearing someone with experience like you gives you courage that you can learn and where to learn, where to go, what to look for. So this is good.
Yeah. Well, Oriana had a lot of questions, and in the end, she didn't ask them. So maybe next time.
Yes, if you have a lot of questions, always be welcome, because all the questions, they are recorded so they can help other people as well.
Yes, and of course they will help us as well, because once we upbuild, we're going to try to put all those questions also into the platform, all the answers to these questions into the platform, so that people already can explore basic things.
It's just that in the morning, most people are at work, so
that's why
we have a lot of participation. For example, even I would go to the recording and see what happened, but if it's just me, I cannot ask a million questions. So participation is good.
Yeah.
Well, we started off with one, and we thought that we would be finished after 10 minutes, and in the end, we always made it to a full hour. So
pretty much, and the conversations go in a different direction. Yesterday, we started talking about Maltese and Dutch startup ecosystems, comparing, because the person who came there, she wanted to know that. So we talked for like 40 minutes about that. So yeah, this session sometimes go where the flow takes, and for some of them I decided to put a theme, so that maybe more people will come because they know what the topic is. It depends.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. All right, then off we go to
work,
to do to change the world, to disrupt the world and make it a better place.
All right.
And enjoy the sun here.
Yep.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna stop.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too. Bye bye.